Morning garden friends, welcome back to the garden. Another beautiful day here in sunny Northern California. Today's video is I'm going to be sharing with you a wonderful little secret of mine, one of my favorite tools. It's a garden must. I think it's a tool that every gardener should have, whether you're in ground, maybe even in raised beds. I've actually found it to be quite useful there as well, but especially in ground gardens. This is a fantastic tool and I recommend it to all gardeners. What is this tool? Let's find out. All right, so what's this magical tool? This one that's gonna solve all your problems in the garden and make all the weeds disappear and your tomatoes grow huge. What's this tool? Actually, it won't do all of those things. It'll do a few of those things. What's this tool? This tool, sometimes referred to as a hula hoe, a stirrup hoe, an action hoe, an oscillating cultivator. This is one of the most fantastic tools, and I highly recommend it for all of you to get for your garden if you don't already have one, because this is just one of the most fantastic tools that gardeners can utilize. The reason being is that it does a few different things and kind of that a few other tools do. Like, it's very similar to your traditional hoe, that flat bladed one that's kind of at a 90 to yourself, right? Those ones work great too, and I think I'd recommend that for most gardeners to utilize as well. The problem with those compared to these, or the difference is that these kind of give you a little bit of movement, a little bit of wiggle room, right? And so this tool right here, you can see it kind of pivots on a little fulcrum right here, and I'll try to get some close-ups here in a moment to show you. There's a blade right here that's kind of self-sharpening in a way. You don't actually have to sharpen it like a knife, but what's fantastic about this is that you can remove weeds and stir up soil and break up soil, not just by hacking at it in one motion, right? Because imagine that's the other style of cultivator. You're just doing that all day, which is, I mean, it can be a decent workout in some regards, but makes your back hurt, and it's kind of limiting in what you can do. With this blade, you can definitely attack a weed or a plant like that because you got a blade on one side, but like Paul Bunyan or whatever, right? You get that double-sided axe. There's a blade on the other side as well, so you can pull back and you can push forward to remove those weeds. Some that are in grooves or in crevices, you can kind of tilt this sucker on an angle and use that corner to rip it out and get those weeds removed. This is so effective at removing weeds, and like I said, you can push, you can pull. It doesn't require a lot of downward force or body movement, so if you have limited mobility or limited strength, but you still want to get out there and remove some weeds and have some fun out in the dirt, get a tool like this. Get a tool like this because it's going to be super effective for you. It doesn't require any fuel. There's no gasoline, no oil, no two-stroke, no batteries to recharge. I think this handles like $10 to buy and replace. With this one, I'm going to show you a difference compared to other brands, and I'll give you an example here in a moment. I recommend spending a little bit more money and getting a brand that you trust and that others maybe trust around you. Based upon that durability and the quality of that. And so, like I said, I'll show you some other varieties that you can purchase that you see everywhere, made in China or whatever, and they're just they're garbage, they're trash. You might as well, like you're wasting your money. Here, let me show you right now. So here's one picked up at Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, big box store. And you can see it's a bit wider than this one, but you know what? You can buy these in all different sizes. I think this one on your right is a 3-inch. This one's a 5-inch, but these ones come in all sizes. So this is what I got from the store. I think it's donated or something, thankfully, which was nice because I don't like buying these ones. I think this one's actually been around for quite a while, and I've had to baby it. And the reason why I don't recommend buying a hula hoe or an oscillating hoe or a stirrup hoe from a big box store typically is because the ones they carry are utter garbage, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I'm so humble, right? No, because the materials they use and the quality of the manufacturing are just absolutely terrible, especially for my students, and for day-to-day use. And that being is that my students and myself, I like to use these pretty rigorously with a lot of force. Sometimes my students will be going up against thicker roots that this tool really isn't designed for, but if I don't get to them in time to redirect them and give them a different tool. These literally, I've had many of these over the years that have come from the big box stores, and usually within a week they're destroyed. The handles last long, right? They're comfortable, very ergonomic, but the part that actually works, the functioning part, the part you need to not break, breaks instantly. It tacos and the metal folds over and bends. And even though this looks kind of replaceable, I've had a hard time finding these to go on these. So that I feel like they're made to be broken. They're planned obsolescence. They're designed to have you buy them, use them a little bit, and if you don't baby them, they will break, and then they want you to buy another one. Don't do that. Buy something like this. I think this is like Swiss made or whatever. Yeah, Swiss made, and it's steel. Thick steel, and I've rarely had students break these. I think I've had one broken, and it was because this, that's pilot error, that's user error. But what's cool about this variety, and maybe I'll list their name below. I don't know. They're not giving me any money for this, although I don't have any viewership. This one has a blade that's removable, and so what's cool is when this blade wears out, and they do tend to wear out. I don't know if you can see it right there. Just from friction and use and abrasion, this will wear out and thin out. Some of them we've used so much that they just disappear in the middle. It's like literally gone. So just 2 screws on one side, 2 screws on the other, or actually bolts, I should say. You remove those, and for like $10 or whatever, for a pretty fair amount, you can replace that blade, the important part, and it keeps rocking. And this head, it just keeps getting use, tons of use. So this variety, I'd say if you're gonna use it, get one that is quality. If you don't mind and you're doing very light work, I guess you could buy a cheapo, but even then I don't recommend it. I mean, if you buy quality tools and take care of them, they'll last. It's so much more worth it because you get so much more use out of it instead of having to break one, go back, buy another one, have that one wear out, break that one. You know what I mean? It's nice to have stuff that's actually replaceable. So like a lot of these parts are replaceable on here, which I love. And the steel is very thick and durable compared to these other ones that are not really steel and they're just pathetic. All right, so let's wrap this one up. This is my tool of the week, might be tool of the month. It's just one of my favorite tools. It's a stirrup hoe, hula hoe, action hoe, oscillating cultivator, whatever you want to call it. It's one that you can use in many different ways. I'm gonna go get some footage to kind of show you how to use this really quick, just to show you it in action. Let's take a look. So the hula hoe, or oscillating hoe, stirrup hoe, oscillating cultivator tool. This is a really good one to use. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot of force. I'm just gonna show you a little example of how well it works. So if this one, you just can go, oh, that one's gone. And then if you pull back, it'll slice out and remove the rest of that material. Now I'm even doing this one-handed, and even one-handed with just a little push, you can see this material just get sliced out. It's like having a blade right at your fingertips that severs the plant stem from its roots. And if you have to, that you can change your angle and bite into the soil a little deeper if you want to scoop out more of that material, especially if you have like, weeds with rhizomes and underground structures that you really need to remove. You can just pivot up and then rip them right out. There's some Bermuda grass. This is all one-handed, mind you. So it's a very easy tool to use. And it's just fantastic in the garden. Like I said, I can't recommend this tool enough because it makes working in the garden so much easier. Even for a weed trimmer to get in here, it would only cut down the plants to a certain level. This tool cuts them down and then actually kills them a lot better than I think even a lot of weed trimmers do. And what's nice about it, it also doesn't disturb the soil. Like if I was out here hacking this up with like a Matic or a rooter tool, or even a traditional hoe, kind of sometimes chips up the soil a bit. So it's just really decent tool